Hangin with Hester.
3rd and goal at the 2.5. Flynn under center. Hester straight ahead. He is in for the stone!
Hangin with Hester with Jacob Hester. Wall-to-wall football.
I have not seen a gutsier performance by a Tiger running back, maybe ever.
Now, Hangin with Hester with Jacob Hester on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yo! 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 Okay. We'll get used to that. Hanging with Hester, presented by Richards Honda. Got some star-studded lineup for you today. We got Gordy Rush sitting here for the first segment. We've got some programming notes to go over. I'm sure most of you already heard on Sports Today, but we'll hit that off the top. We got Cade, Paul O'Neill, Matt Flynn's actually on time. I'll give him credit, but he'll come on in the second segment. We're going to have a little hanging with Flester. We've got Shea Dixon set to join us to talk a little recruiting. Big show. Stick around with us, but let's go ahead and get to the news of the day.
Well, first off, before I do that, Matt Flynn's got a My High t-shirt. Did you get a My High t-shirt? I don't have My High apparel.
I actually did.
Did you? Okay, it's just me. Just checking for the record.
Just the boss man didn't.
Wow.
He actually has a My High mask as well.
I just told him my kids are killing his popsicles during the summer heat. I talked about it in the 12 o'clock with Sports Today. Like a lot of people, we've had 3 or 4 months to sit around, look at our business and what have you, and optimize what we want to do going future. And so we're making 3 changes on ESPN effective Monday, July 6th. The first is the easiest. We're going to extend off the bench from 7 to 9 to 7 to 10. Those guys have done an incredible job. Rated the number 13 morning show by Barrett Sports Media in the United States, so we're excited about that. And then when it came to midday, what we're going to do is consolidate this show and put Charles Hannegriff with you, and it's going to be Hanging with Hester and Hanny, I believe, right? Is that what y'all, or from 12 to 3? A couple reasons for that. Obviously, we couldn't get Flynn in here 22 weekdays a month. Hopefully he can still make guest appearances, but you were rotating guys in and out. Those guys will continue to be on the show. Right. I'll let you talk about your show. Yep. But Hannegriff gives you a permanent partner, and then we've built this lovely TV studio that we weren't able to take advantage of with 11 to 1, that show being out on the road. And the last move, Jimmy's going to 6P to 8P, and the huge port, and nobody's been pushing this more than me. I know we've talked about it off the air, was for Jimmy to go 6 to 8. We're going to call it Game Time. First and foremost, it's going to be a sports gambling show. Right. We know it's on the ballot here in each parish in Louisiana to push this along with the fantasy stuff. But the biggest thing is that when you go to New Jersey, you go to Pennsylvania, you go to the states where it's passed, there's so much more content on that now. We see it on ESPN on the tickers. And so obviously Jimmy's passionate about that. There's a lot of advertising dollars, a lot of content available. So when we look at it, we feel like it's a stronger lineup. And then, on ESPN Radio, we still have Le Batard from 10 to 12. I know our listeners read the trades. There's a lot of shifting going on with ESPN Radio. From what I understand, Le Batard's going to be there. So that's our lineup. 7 to 10 OTB, 10 to 12 Le Batard, 12 to 3 Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 3 to 6 Matt and AFR, and then 6 to 8 will be Jimmy out. We'll push Chuck Oliver back 8 to 10. We've had a lot of good feedback on Chuck.
I'm excited about this. Charles Hannegriff is like an LSU encyclopedia. He's been doing it for such a long time. Anytime I have an LSU question, he's the first person that I call or text to get the right answer to. So I'm excited to work with Hanny. I've done work with Hanny before. It's always easy. Yeah. And, I am glad that I'm going to have somebody else that, can co-host with me. We'll lead each other in the right direction. And, when I'm on SiriusXM, I always lead that show as well. But when I do shows with Cole Kubelik, it's a little bit different because he can host as well. And I love that interaction because he can come back from a break. I can come back from a break. He can lead me and tee me up. I can tee him up. And so I'm looking forward to that with Charles Hannegriff. Again, absolute legend in this business. So it's an honor for me to be able to work with Hanny. And don't worry, we're still going to have Richard Dick Dixon. Hunt's going to come in. We're still going to Flester. That was one of the first things that Hanny actually said. He goes, now I cannot break you two up. I cannot break you and Flynn up. I love the dynamic there. And we'll actually talk more about what Matt likes to talk about, which is X's and O's. And Hanny will kind of lead us in that direction. So I'm looking forward to all of the above. I'm glad that, Dick Dixon's going to be able to come on, an hour a week. Hunt's going to be able to come on an hour or two a week. And so we're still going to have the same feel for Hanging with Hester. A little bit more stability, though, knowing that Hannegriff will be in that seat, Gordy, before 103. I'm not going to call out who typically gets in that seat at 103.
Jumbo.
But
right.
The fact that we'll start the show, Hanny's going to be there, and we're going to have a great chemistry that, we've already been working on in the past, doing different draft specials or companion shows. I know it's going to be a great move for not only our show but the station. So
we're excited about it. We love the partnership, that's been with CST, and again another hour on television. So look, we're excited about it. I realize it's 100% on me that there are some fans that you're going to have your portion of fans that aren't happy with it. I get it, and we're not going to please 100% of the people all the time. We're going to put ourselves in the best position, I think, to be successful programming and business-wise. We feel like we've done that. We've had 90 days to sit here and think about this and let this sink in.
I'm excited as well to add an hour to the show.
Yeah.
That's something that we've talked about before, getting that 12 o'clock hour. A lot of people in their cars either going to lunch or coming back to work from lunch, and so I'm excited to get that time slot in as well. So for me, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm extremely happy to be able to team up and start this Hangin with Hester and Hanny, or should we go Hanny and Hester?
Whatever you guys want to come up. I'll let y'all do that with the graphics, the bumper music. That's like I don't tell Flester what to play. Y'all play what it is. He says that you like Nickelback, and he rolls with whatever. I'll let y'all get in that discussion. Hey, it's whatever y'all want to do. I mean, the exciting thing is our team's excited to. For me, everybody's excited about this. Jimmy's excited about the opportunity. Charlie's looking forward to work with you. OTB is happy for the extra hour. So how about I get off of here, you go to break, and bring Flynn on so y'all can do Flester. I have lunch waiting. I broke away for lunch.
Okay. Stop lying to the audience.
What?
Tell them exactly why you want to get off the air at 106 and not 111.
Because there's Premier Soccer on. I mean, I haven't
You've
wanted.
checked that TV.
A part of the reason we did this is I got so pissed off that I kept getting text messages that Rance didn't show up, and I had to walk across the hall and leave soccer. And I don't know how you do a show with all this premium content on English Premier Soccer, Bundesliga, the Championship League. Wayne Rooney just played, and you're having to do a radio show.
It's okay. So I learned from Hunt. I can actually have Everton on the computer and still do my show at the same time. He watches the Cubs during the show. You can multitask. Look, when you have multiple children, like I have 4, I haven't played man-to-man defense in a very long time, and so I've got to come up with the ways that's the best situation for everybody to succeed.
Creativity. So, well, good for you. You can deal with it. I'm not. I'm going to go eat and watch Premier League soccer.
All right, G, I appreciate it. Again, big news for this show. Going to be Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Going to be from 12 to 3, adding an extra hour. OTB gets an extra hour, 7 to 10. AFR stays the same. Chuck Oliver gets pushed back. Jimmy, 6 to 8, sports gambling show. I'm looking forward to all of those moves. And if I'm not mistaken, that starts on Monday.
Monday, July 6th. You got it.
ASAP. Let's go. Absolutely. All right. When we come back from break, a little Hanging with Flester. Matt Flynn comes on. Don't forget Shea Dixon at 1:30 to talk a little LSU recruiting. We've got all that coming back here. Hanging with Hester, presented by Richards Honda.
Hangin' with Hester with Jacob Hester.
All right, as you know, we're also brought to you by Hungry Howie's, home of the flavored crust pizza. You can check out all the different flavors of crust they have over at Hungry Howie's. They've got the butter cheese, the ranch, the onion, the Cajun, the sesame, the garlic herb. As you can tell, they've got so many different flavors to fit whatever you're in the mood for. I encourage you to go check out the website, hungryhowies.com, because on the website you can find those deals that we always tell you about. They've always got specials. They've always got the deals. We love the mix and match $5.99 choose any 2 deal. They have been running for a long time. You don't have to decide between all the great options because you can mix and match however you want. Of course, you can find them right there, Nicholson, right by campus. It is open from 10 a.m. until 4 a.m., so it's always open. You can call them at 761-HOWIE. Of course, the Hungry Howie's app is always available to you as well. So not only so many different flavor crusts, but so many different ways to get your Hungry Howies to you. Again, hungryhowies.com and 761-HOWIE.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of OSSIE Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OSSIE Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
How distracted will Clayton be today? Hanging with Flester with Matt Flynn and Jacob Hester. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Flester. Presented by, hey, there you go. I know you didn't get a chance to, and Gordy was awkward. He didn't really know what to do.
That was a very awkward intro.
I should have given Cade the heads up. I mean, Cade's producing the show now, and I didn't give Cade the heads up to Yo. He'll be better. Paul Yo, but I don't think his mic was on.
Has Gordy ever been on radio before?
I guess not.
Dude was awkward. Real awkward.
First timer.
Rookie. I can teach him a few things.
Yeah, your radio, I don't even know what word to use, to be honest with you. You're
Make
here.
up one.
No, I don't want to. You're here, though.
I'm here.
I'm excited about you being here, and I'm excited that we're going to continue to do this, even with the new lineup and, hanging with Hester and Haney. You're still going to be able to come on here once a week. Now, when I said the show was going to 3 hours, I heard the calls for concern in your voice on the phone. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you stay here for 3 hours.
I was scared. Like you're pushing me to my limit to find content to come out of me for 2 hours. Like 3 hours, that'd be tough. We would be talking, like, we average probably, two segs a show of sports. It would still be two segments in usually a 3 hour show.
2 segments and maybe like an X's and O's segment. So it's like 3 total.
Yeah, so that wouldn't expand if we expanded the show an hour. It would still be the same. It'd just be a lot more nothing.
But I do give Haney credit. That's the first thing he said. He said, we cannot get rid of Flynn. I was all for getting rid of you, but he said, we cannot get rid of you. So he's excited to do a show.
Well, maybe I can just do the show with him.
It's true.
Instead, like, you got to take a
there.
bathroom break, and we'll just do it.
There's a lot of truth in there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's great for me because I'm a little loosey goosey when it comes to the schedule. I'm into shortening words right now for some reason. But
yeah, you are. It's kind of weird. I'll give you credit though. You at least you're here on time, and you're here when you say you're going to be here.
Yeah,
now you might be running in breathing a little bit heavier than you probably should be, but you're in that seat. And I am excited that I will have Hanny in that seat every single day. And it's not like is he going to walk through that door at 103 or 12:57?
Yeah, it takes a little pressure off you. I get it. When we first started doing the show, like you probably called me like 7 times the day of and the day before to make sure I was there, because you were just, I mean, you had done radio for a couple of years, but I think you were probably scared to death of hitting it by yourself, like right when we started. I
used to do an hour solo in Shreveport by myself. That's okay, but when you start talking about like 2 hours in a new market by yourself, at the beginning,
and that was like that was that was what, 2.5 hours ago, 2.5 hours, 2.5 years ago, and but now you've relaxed a little bit because you got the chops now.
The chops.
You know that you could fall back on it if you had to.
Well,
I'm proud of you, man. Proud of you.
Thank you. I
Done a great
appreciate it.
job.
I also know that, with the way that the co-host lineup was set up, there could be a time where the first hour was going to be solo, even if I didn't plan on it being solo. So you always have the sounders ready to go. And, if you got to talk to yourself, you can do it. You answer your own questions, which I'm not a fan of, but that's what you have to do.
But it would always be a little bit worse if I didn't show up for the first hour because you've learned to not book guests.
True. I booked one today. Shea Dixon's coming on at 1:30 because I just didn't feel confident about it. Because I told you yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Because my wife could,
and Lacey's like
our
pregnant
at any minute now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you might have to get up and leave. So I did prepare just in case.
Yeah.
A topic that I definitely wanted to hit, and I can guarantee you probably won't be hit on any other show on this station today because it's, not in this market, but it's a fantastic story every single year. July 1st is Bobby Bonilla Day. Bobby Bo gets $1.19 million every single July 1st through 2035. He'll be 72, by the way. He hadn't played a game for the Mets since 2001. His agent deserves a statue in the Hall of Fame for doing his deal like this. Bobby Bo getting paid 34 years after he stops playing.
So let's see. So that would make it probably what? Close to, I'm sure I could look it up. I've never looked this up, but it was like a $40 million contract just over those 35 years.
Well, the way they did deferred payments on it. And so he didn't take the money up front, which a lot of people, you want to see the guaranteed signing bonus. This is a hell of a retirement plan.
Yeah.
He knows every July 1st, I'm getting $1 million+. Now taxes and all that. We can talk tax law like we do on this show, but not right now.
So I wonder if, at that time, what year was that contract signed? Do you have it? Late 90s?
Late 90s was.
Late 90s. I wonder if I'd like to compare the amount that he got over that period of time compared to like what the normal contract. If someone was going to take it up front, like what was it more? Did it end up being 50% more because he expanded it over that time? Because I guess standard probably business enthusiast would probably say that's not the smartest thing to do is to take it over time.
Right, but it gives you stability for sure.
But it certainly gives you stability. So when in the NFL, you had this option to get paid throughout the year. Yeah. So you usually in the NFL, you're getting paid every 2 weeks during the season. So you're only getting, your paychecks, a year's worth of paychecks is coming in, 4 or 5 months. But you had the option to take less each week, but take it all year long. And we had a couple people that do that, but everyone that you talk to, like financial folks or whatever, like there's no way to do like that's not a smart move from a business because you can put it and it can grow. It's not growing unless you have it. So but it certainly gives you stability. Like he 2035, is that what you said?
Yes.
That's
and
insane.
So
good for him, man. He's winning.
And this is from a 2000 buyout. And the Mets owe Bobby Bo $5.9 million and agreed to pay it off with 8% interest from 2011 to 2035. Now, deferred contracts are more common in baseball than they are, in other sports. And Bobby Bo,
they're paying him 8.5% interest. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Good for him.
And look, Bobby Bo's not even going to be the highest paid retired Met in 2020. David Wright is scheduled to make $12 million this year through the terms of his settlement with the Mets.
I'd like to see how much more Bobby Bonilla is making than current
it says more than half the Mets. More than half the Mets opening day roster. He'll make more than them this year.
That's fantastic.
Because the league minimum in baseball is a little bit over $500,000. Mm-hmm. So he's making double the league minimum by sitting on his couch. And this is until $20.35.
I bet he's making more money than like Patrick Mahomes' base salary.
Oh, for sure. Because, Patrick Mahomes got all his money probably in bonuses and all
Bobby
those things.
B, nice work. So that's every July 1st. What do you think he does? What do you think he does July 1? What do you think, like right now? What do you think he's doing?
I hope he's on a lake, on a boat.
Yep. No way he's –
a couple cold pops.
No way he's sober right now.
No, why would you be?
Exactly. No, yeah, for sure.
I think this is –
like if you were just given $1 million and you hadn't swung a bat since in 20 years, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely
2001.
You're definitely hitting the bottomless mimosas up.
Mimosas?
I'm finding me a bottomless mimosa shop and I'm going there by myself if I have to. That's it. That's all I got.
It's fine. Happy Bobby Bo Day before we take a break.
Where's he living? Where's he paying them taxes?
Surely he's smart. Okay, surely if you set up a contract like this, you're not living
what was the team?
in a state. It was the Mets.
Okay. He's got to be – if he's not living in Florida, Texas, Nevada, Tennessee, Washington. Where else? He
better not live
Arizona,
in New York
maybe?
or California.
If he does – if you know that for 35 years, you will be getting $1.1 million and you have that stability for 35 years, and you live in California, you got some serious mental issues. Serious.
All right, we'll take our first break of the show. When we come back, we'll be joined by Shea Dixon, 247 Sports, to talk a little LSU recruiting and more here on Hangin with Flester, presented by Richard Honda.
Hangin with Hester, with Jacob Hester.
Dear Sports is our love letter to sports. Share your Dear Sports letter with us. Call 860-506-6161 and read it to us. Or share a video or text using the hashtag Dear Sports on Twitter or Instagram.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Divorce is hard. Divorce is messy. Divorce is exhausting. The law offices of OSSIE Brown walked me through my divorce and helped me find the right solution for me, my kids, my finances, and my property.
Call the law offices of OSSIE Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
You come for the bumper music, but stay for the flestering. Hangin' with Flester, with Matt Flynn and Jacob Hester. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hang with Flester, presented by Richard Tana here with Matt Flynn on a Wednesday afternoon.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day!
That's going to be a drop from now on. I don't even care if it's July 1st. All right, we're going to go ahead and nice bumper music there, Josh. We're going to go ahead and welcome Shea Dixon, 247 Sports, to the show. Talk a little LSU football recruiting. Shea Deasy, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying another day in quarantine. So, hey, there might be good news for LSU today, so I'm staying busy.
There might be good news coming out of Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. Naquan Brown is a guy that we talked about yesterday. I saw you drop the crystal ball prediction on Brown. This is a 6'3", 205-pound defensive lineman from Virginia. Kind of give our listeners a little profile on him.
Well, I mean, you hear 205 and then you hear defensive end, and
right.
You know that they're moving to a 4-3, and that jumps out. I think he's, from talking to his coaches, he's in that 210, maybe a little over that range right now. But they said this is a kid that once he gets into a college strength program, that first summer, y'all see it happen all the time, but you make that leap over 3 months even where your body looks completely different. And I think he's got the frame and kind of really just the body to fill that out. So, I mean, we're talking about a guy who's probably going to be playing college football, at least in his freshman and sophomore years, in that 6'4", 230 range, which, you know, is still light for a 4-3 D end. But I think this is also a guy who's got enough versatility. I mean, he plays special teams. He's played some wide receiver, but really, I mean, I watched probably 20 plus minutes of highlights this morning, and whether it was his sophomore or junior year, he's played DN in a 4-3, granted in high school, but he's got his hand in the dirt. He stands up a good bit. He can do that as a situational edge rusher. He can end up playing linebacker for you. So I think he's got a bit of versatility, and that's why schools like LSU, Miami, Penn State, and a handful of others had offered him a scholarship.
Now, this is a little bit different build and makeup than we've seen defensive ends when Bo Pelini was at LSU the first time. In 2007, our defensive ends, Kirsten Pittman, Tyson Jackson, much bigger bodies. And so do you think this is just the way the game's evolving, not necessarily Bo Pelini's, you know, what he looks for in defensive end, but maybe just the way that teams want to get faster on the edge?
I mean, yeah, I do. And I think it's also he could play some linebacker. He could be a situational guy for you. I think he's one that you look at and you like his film and you say, okay, he doesn't fit the prototype of the Kirsten Pittmans, but we'll take him and we'll see kind of how he grows over those first couple of years and where does he really fit. And look, if you turn on film and let's just make this a conversation that's somewhat relevant to let everybody kind of get a glimpse of what kind of player he is. at 6'3", 210 right now, and you watch his film, is kind of Marcel Brooks-ish. And, there was a debate about where does Marcel Brooks fit in. Not that, and look, I'm not saying Naquan Brown is Marcel Brooks. Marcel Brooks was a 5-star for a reason. He was playing early for a reason at LSU. He's a big-time talent. But just when you look at that kind of type of player, if you will, your traditional 3-4 type stand-up edge rusher, and moving into Pelini's defense, I'm really interested because I wanted to see how he used Marcel Brooks. So I'm curious now how they move forward with a guy like Naquan Brown and others like him who are those kind of tall, really long, 80-plus inch wing type of edge rusher who doesn't have the same size as kids who are coming out at 260.
Hey, real quick before we move on, I want to ask you real quick about Marcel Brooks. I know he said he wanted to get closer to home. Do you think some of the move was because he felt like he maybe didn't have a position moving forward with the LSU defense?
Yeah, I think it could be. I think it's probably a combination of a lot of things, and I'm not sure that his maybe feel for where he was going to be, or upset about. People have speculated. Was he upset about playing linebacker? He talked about that on social media. He wanted to be a safety. Sure. I think that could play into it. Yes. I don't think that was his main motive behind transferring. I think it was probably a multitude of things, but I do think that it's interesting to me, that dynamic. Like if a guy says, and y'all have been there, I haven't, but if you say I'm kind of this type of player, and they say, hey, look, we like you by the line of scrimmage, we want you rushing the passer, and it doesn't work out, what do you do? And sometimes kids do transfer. Now, again, I don't think that's the only reason Marcel transferred, but sure, I think that his view and how they wanted to use him, at least during the transition initially on his end, seemed to ruffle a little feathers, but I don't think that was any major issue that would have prevented him from not just going out there and playing wherever they put him.
Shea, Matt Flynn here. I got a question for you on the always controversial topic of whether or not it's smart or you should attempt to take a quarterback every recruiting class. I have my opinions, and they're only a little bit stronger now with the whole portal situation. The quarterback free agency market out there, of course, in college football. I personally don't think it is as important as a lot of folks do for every year. But I want to hear your opinion. You're the recruiting expert, so I want to hear your take on this.
I think it's twofold. I think my answer would be if I am consistently recruiting at a clip where, and let's say this right now, here's a good example. There's only one uncommitted quarterback who's a 4 or 5 star that's out there. I think there's maybe 24 or 25 of them total. And it's Caleb Williams, and most people think he's going to go to Oklahoma. You look up that list of 25 guys up and down of the teams they're committed to, and the glaring omissions are Alabama and Clemson. And you look a year ago, well, those are the 2 schools that signed the top 2 quarterbacks, Bryce Young and DJ Uiagalelei. So I think that some teams say, yeah, look, we can, if we're getting a guy that we feel so good about that he's not going to bust on us and he's going to contribute, that and it's not so much even development as it is just raw talent that he can already step in and do something, then I think teams, feel a little bit of that, feel a little of the Matt Flynn approach there of, hey, we don't really need to do it every year. And if we do, it can be a buffer guy late that really is kind of happy to come into the program and compete down the line. And I think that other schools, and I would include LSU in this, need to be taking a quarterback every year. And it could be a great quarterback, but until you're recruiting like those teams that recruit nothing but consistent 5-star quarterbacks, and I think LSU can move towards doing that, I would try to go for a quarterback every year. And I guess even more so now with the transfer portal and just the reality that guys can roll out on you, and the Matt Flynn's and the Miles Brennans of the world are kind of more few and far between, at least in my opinion.
Don't be grinning over there, Matt Flynn. We know you stayed, won a national championship. We get it.
Well, it's almost like you don't want to recruit 5-star quarterbacks, because I feel like if 5-star quarterbacks aren't playing year 1 or 2, they're gone. So you almost want to recruit like
a solid 4-star,
like a solid 3 or 4-star that has all this raw talent that you can build up. But it's just it's such a tricky. I don't envy any college coach right now when it comes to the recruitment of quarterbacks, because like you could take a lot of different philosophies, but how many big schools are just recruiting? They're spending more time recruiting transfer portal guys than they are high school guys, because you could take one every year Look at Georgia last year. You could take great quarterbacks all the time, but they all transfer out, and your guy gets hurt, and you have a second string quarterback coming in who doesn't look like he's ever played quarterback.
Didn't have a tailored jersey. I mean, it looked like they went and got the practice jersey and threw it on the poor kid. So I mean, I get what you're saying there. Hey. And, of course, Shea Dixon, 247 Sports, is our guest here. Speaking of LSU's quarterback commit, Garrett Nussmeier is, creating some buzz at Elite 11 out there. Trent Dilfer had some quotes talking about how, he's only 6'1.5", but he really gets the most power out of his body. So that's a good sign for Tiger fans that Garrett Nussmeier is going out there and competing with the best of the best.
Yeah, I mean, I like Nussmeier. One thing I like about Nussmeier is that he seems to be getting, and this is probably something that all quarterbacks obviously be striving for, but it's probably a good indicator of what their upward trajectory might be, is that every year he gets better. And I've seen him throw 2 years in a row at LSU summer camp. He was markedly better each time. A lot of people had knocked on him early in his career because he had, I think his completion percentage was in the 50% range. He upped that in a big way as a junior. I think he was at 68% at the end of the year. Played really well for a double-digit win Marcus team. And then I watched him throw the past 2 nights on the Elite 11's kind of broadcast of the 20 guys that are up there. And he's above middle of the pack for sure. I think that they've ranked him 6th or 7th out of 20, and I think that's probably more than fair. And for LSU in the grand scheme of things, it's if you're going from TJ Finley and Max, who a lot of people were big TJ Finley fans. I love Max Johnson's game. And then you get a kid like Nussmeier, and then you've got Walker Howard already in the boat for the next year, who seems like a pretty high-profile top 100 type of prospect. They haven't really ever consistently recruited, at least rankings-wise, which don't mean everything when you step in the field at all. They don't mean anything, but they haven't been recruiting 5 straight top 200 type quarterbacks. So you would hope that out of all this that you get some stability out of it, right? That the 2 guys that are freshmen, and then Nussmeier, and then Walker Howard gives you a chance to maybe set up for more guys start to play a couple years in a row, and you move to another guy like Brennan, who's been on the roster and don't have to go after whether it's a transfer, which obviously worked very well for him, but or just hope that every year you land that big quarterback.
Shea, we know that the dead period has been extended as well through August the 31st, and it just keeps getting pushed back in middle of March and went to April 1st, then May 31st, and then June 30th, July 31st. Now we're at August 31st, and who knows what could happen, even past August 31st. And we know the early signing period has become National Signing Day now, with a majority of the class signing that day. So I want to ask you 2 parts to this. First question of it is, who do you think could thrive in this style of recruiting? Because it seems like the new coaches who don't have those relationships, who have not had those summer camps to learn and shake hands and meet the families of these recruits, will be behind the 8 ball because they don't have those relationships already built. And the second part of it is, do you think they'll still have the early signing period?
Yeah, I do. I think they'll have the early signing period. I don't think they'll have any shuffling. I've heard nothing about that, and I wouldn't really see a reason not to. I mean, if kids are ready, go ahead and give them the opportunity, and they can move on with their academic, spring semester as an early enrollee. And I would expect a bulk of LSU's guys to probably sign then. Now, I think this will be one of the more interesting cycles, and we won't know the answer, obviously, until 4 or 5 years down the road when you get a good glimpse of how everybody panned out. But so often, I mean, for these kids that are in this class about to be seniors, that's your biggest time to go to summer camps, and that's the only time coaches get to actually work with you, instead of just watching your film or going to your high school and watching games or a spring practice or weightlifting session or workout or whatever it might be. They've got you on campus. And then you have events like, if you're LSU, the opening and Elite 11, and a lot of these other big teams, you're watching those events because a lot of your targets and prospects are in it. And now you're almost solely relying on high school film. And they've got access to way more than highlights, but still, a lot of this class is going to have to be based on what you knew about these kids from going out and seeing them in 2019 and having them on campus last summer. Well, by the time that they sign, y'all, I mean, that's a year and a half later. That's the end of your high school career, which is probably when you've gotten either bigger or better or plateaued or whatever it might be. So senior year evals, which I always say, those schools that are in position to make senior year evals, like LSU and Clemson and Bama and Ohio State, they fill up to 20 guys before the season starts. there's some mid-range teams that can make senior evals on kids and get some steals. I think that's going to play out some this year, but more so than anything, I think that we're going to see who out there is really good at evaling and trusting kind of the vision for their program when you don't have guys on campus all the time and get to size them up all off season and let alone work them out.
Shea, I got one more question for you, and it's kind of on the it kind of relates to the COVID stuff. I'm a casual sports fan during the off season, right? And so all the stuff I hear about is, whether college football is going to play, whether NFL, all these professional collegiate teams, are they playing? I hadn't really heard anyone talk about high school season and whether or not high school teams have talked about, the risks of playing, being at, high school football, of course, is different than the business of college football and the business of the NFL, blah, blah, blah. But has there any been work? And if there is some sort of delay, cancellations of that, how does that affect recruiting? Especially a lot of these people that are, might be one-year starters that are good prospects that teams might be looking at. Is this guy going to get better, bigger, better, stronger, faster, in his senior year? But how will that affect if games start getting canceled?
Yeah, that's what's going to be really interesting because so far it hasn't, it's totally thrown off kids' evaluation process for sure. It's already stung high school kids, no doubt, in football. But it seemed like it burned a lot of those baseball kids right out of the gate. And that was sort of the first big thing was the high school baseball kids that were hoping to get eval and all that to make this stretch to get onto teams or get scholarships. And we've seen that with football in the off season. But I'll give you an example here with Naquan Brown from talking to people on the East Coast. And I very casually, I was like, well, and, as a senior, I'd expect him to do this and that. And they said, well, whoa, Virginia might not be playing football this year. Well, I had not really thought about that because around Louisiana, they haven't talked about no football. And then I saw people in Mississippi saying yesterday that there was buzz going around that they might, at least lay out a map and a plan to make it work in the spring and not the fall. Well, everybody's already signed by then. Like you're playing after your senior year, or I guess your senior year is like after and during signing day, which would be a huge disservice to a lot of kids who are hoping to be seen as seniors. So maybe we see more kids not sign early and hold out until February. And then remember, February is just the first day you can sign. Maybe kids start waiting beyond February if they really are playing their seasons on some delayed calendar or something like that. So, yeah, there's even as football comes, and I'm sure it'll be happening in some states and not in others for high school level, but that's going to really shake up kind of recruiting and how these teams approach filling out their board and figuring out, hey, do we go ahead and sign all 25 guys in December and February? Or do we need to be holding a few spots now in this weird cycle to be able to sign kids who, are going to be late evaluations?
Catching up with Shea Dixon, 247 Sports. You can check out his work at go247.com. Shea, I've got a couple more for you before we let you go. Inside the Bayou Ford Huddle, they want to know about the top 4 players in Louisiana: Mason Smith, Sage Ryan, Brian Thomas, and Chris Hilton. The top 4 guys all look like they are LSU lean but have not committed anywhere. Any updates on any 4 of those players?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty impressive group there of top 4 guys. All of them are top 50, I believe. I think Hilton's 49 and Brian Thomas is in the 30s, and those are 2 receivers. And Brian Thomas is the number 2 receiver in the country. So let's start there. Those are 2 big-time targets. And they've got JoJo Earl, who's a perfect slot out of Texas, a top 100 player committed, speed for days. And then they've got Deion Smith out of Provine in Mississippi, Jackson, committed, and he seems firm, but he's a top 100 player and one of the better receivers in this class and a really good basketball player at Provine, which, in Jackson is pretty high-level basketball. So really good athletes there. And then if you can get 2 more, because they wanted 4 in this class, it makes perfect sense that all of their, at least a majority of their focus is on Chris Hilton over at Zachary and then Brian Thomas at Walker, 2 pretty local guys. So Hilton, I would expect probably, he's always said he's committing before his senior year. He always said it would be in the summer. It's now July 1st, so I would think in the next couple of weeks, Chris Hilton's probably committed, and I would presume it to be LSU, Bama, and Georgia, and A&M, I think, are the other teams there. And I'll note, boy, he won a state champion as a high jumper as a freshman, so the LSU track team obviously would benefit from him going to LSU as well. Brian Thomas might be the toughest one to answer on this list because that's the LSU-Bama battle this year.
Right.
Like, if you always circle one, that's it. And last year you circled a couple, Guillory and Roy and Butte, and LSU won all three battles. So this year it's kind of been focused, at least in terms of the guy that they might have a shot with, is Brian Thomas. Now, I think that Bama led early. I think that LSU's done a really good job making up that ground and potentially moving out front with Mickey Joseph and all them recruiting the Walker area. So I think that'll be interesting. I think he's quiet. He doesn't care about Twitter. He doesn't care if his offers are on his profile. He doesn't care about any of that. He's straight up football. I play basketball. I go to school, and that's it. So he's not riding it out for the fanfare. It could happen tomorrow or it could happen on signing day. The other two I feel pretty good about LSU landed. Mason Smith, number one player in the state, D lineman. Nothing more to say. I mean, if you're a five-star D lineman in Louisiana, you're a stud, and that's a need. I love Sage Ryan, and I can go back and forth on why he's the best player in the state up against those other three guys, because he's played all three sides, both sides of the ball, special teams, been the best player in all three phases, won a state title, gone off in the state title game. Your bloodlines involved Kevin and Trev Falk. I mean, he tests off the charts. There's zero not to like about Sage Ryan. I think he's a corner or a safety, a Tyrann Mathieu type of player, if you want, kind of a nickel or someone who can do either for you and be one of your better players. I think when your cousin is last name Falk and first name Kevin and Trev, I think you're probably a good lock to wind up playing for the Tigers, especially coming out of Lafayette. But boy, he is a phenomenal football player. I don't think people talk about him enough in the state.
Shea, I know we're extremely long with you. You shouldn't be good at answering questions, so I'm going to get one more in. That's right. We're going to push one more question here from the Bayou Ford Huddle. Xavier Carter is committed from Atlanta. He's 6'4", 193 pounds. Naquan Brown is a guy that we talked about at the top of this interview from Virginia, 6'3", 205. Both listed, kind of as edge players. Xavier Carter looks like he's going to be an outside linebacker. Do you see them kind of in the same mold? Because you talked about all the different things Brown could do, because it looks like they're trying to get a mold of maybe tall, lean guys who can get on the edge, play both kind of end linebacker.
Yeah, I think they're pretty similar. And look, Xavier Carter's coming out of the same high school as Arden Key. And when Arden Key was going into his senior year, he was 6'4", 200 pounds. So I think you're getting that type of player in Carter. He's a little bit bigger than Naquan Brown, but yeah, similar guys in terms of what they can do for you, just pure edge rushers. They don't have all the mass right now, but they've got length for days, and both of them will be 6'4", 6'5" in college. And that's what I'm interested to see. Those type of guys we saw them recruit 4 of them every year when Dave Aranda's defense. I think moving forward, especially during this transition and maybe settling into how multiple he really wants to be on defense, how often do they go after guys like this? Because after today, I think they'll have 2 of them in Carter and Brown.
Shea, you're the man. We just went 20-plus minutes with you, so we appreciate your time. Always the best.
I think we wore Matt down talking about all that recruiting.
No,
it was a lot. It was a lot.
Matt asked 3 questions, Shea. You should feel honored because that's 3 more than he's asked in the last 6 months of shows.
Mm-hmm.
Got nothing but time to kill here. That's it.
And again, happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yeah, happy Bobby Bo Day.
Enjoy it.
I heard that when I came in. I think I'd seen that already on Twitter, but when he screamed it in the microphone whenever I came on, I was reminded.
What I do.
Shea, have a great day, brother. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye, y'all.
All right, there he is, Shea Dixon. Go247.com is where you can check out Shea's work.
Crushed that.
Yes.
Crushed it.
A couple of questions. I'm not going to lie.
Has anybody thought about that question? The high school question?
You were levitating over that interview.
I did. It was like I wouldn't even.
Do you feel like a little bit of your job security got lost with all the changes and you felt like you needed to step your game up?
Yeah, it was like I was watching myself during that interview from above, watching myself ask that question. Blacked out.
All right, on that note, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up hour number 1. And then on top of hour number 2, Charles Handegrift, the new co-host of this show, will join us from the beach just to kind of give you an idea of what's going to be going on here on Hanging with Hester and Hanny, Hanging with Flester. We got a bunch of names. We'll settle on one in hour number 2. All that coming back.
Hanging with Hester with Jacob Hester. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hi, friends. We're all a little on edge, but we at Richards Honda want to help. If your car needs service, we'll pick it up and drop it off, fixed and sanitized. If you need a new car, use our buy from home option or call us and we'll deliver it right to your door with no payments for 90 days. We are all in this together, and together we'll get through it. For more information, log on to richardshonda.com today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
For over 50 years, customers have been heading to Happytown for the Corval Toyota experience. Get outstanding service with our complimentary loaner program when you buy your next vehicle at Corval Toyota. So come on down to Happytown. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happytown, USA.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of OSSIE Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OSSIE Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Hangin' with Flester with Matt Flynn and Jacob Hester. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. A little Bobby Brown on Bobby Bow Day.
Bobby Bow Day. Playing all things Bobby.
This song was a hit.
It's still a hit.
It still
was.
You're right. Still plays today.
I don't listen to this song enough, I feel like.
I agree. By the way, in the
It's the first
huddle, a
time
lot
we've
of
ever
people
played it
are
above
asking
music.
if you dust your crawfish. By the way, just because we crop dust sports, that does not mean we dust our crawfish. That is blasphemy. It does not take place in the Hester or Flynn household.
Yeah, see, I was listening to the morning show, and they were talking about it, and I didn't know what they didn't bring up crawfish. They just were
Talking
saying
about dusting.
dusting. I
Did
didn't
you
know
think they were talking
talking
about you crop dusting?
I really had no idea what to think, but the first time I ever experienced dusting crawfish, I went to Lake Charles, and it was a crawfish boil, and they legitimately boiled these crawfish in water. Ooh, water. Maybe it was like salty water, but it was like basically water. And then they put him, and then they just they put all the seasoning on top of it after.
Lake Charles?
Lake Charles.
JV, you better stand up and call back into the show.
Charles. Love you. But your crawfish game is weak.
I mean, I know I get called a Yankee, but we don't dust the crawfish up there.
And I know you're not supposed to judge an entire community by one crawfish boil, but I am.
But we're doing it.
And I'm doing it right now.
All right, when we come back, hour number 2, Charles Handegriff will hop on Hanging with Flester, presented by Richard Honda.
Hangin' with Hester, with Jacob Hester.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
When you want the best of Louisiana, you don't go to a superstore. We know what we like, and we like it local. Same goes for banking. As one of Louisiana's largest local banks, we offer homegrown services crafted around you. Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of OSSIE Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OSSIE Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
For over 50 years, customers have been heading to Happy Town for the Corvell Toyota experience. Get outstanding service with our complimentary loaner program when you buy your next vehicle at Corvell Toyota. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana.
Well, you can go fly a kite, hanging with Flester, with Matt Flynn and Jacob Hester. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2, Hanging with Flester, presented by Richard Honda here with Matthew Clayton Flynn, Cade, and Paul O'Neill on a Wednesday afternoon. Going to go ahead and welcome onto the show Charles Hannegriff. Of course, you've heard the news today. Going to be starting a new show on Monday, Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Looking forward to working with Charles. But the first question I have to ask you, have you seen Varsity Blues, Hanny?
Yes, I've seen Varsity Blues.
Okay. All right, pass.
It's good.
We
pass.
passed the test. No, Hanny, we talked about in the first hour. I know you came on Sports Today earlier and gave your show kind of the update on what's going on. You and I have had many conversations since we found out about the news. I know we're both excited to move forward with the show, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I think it's going to really be a great mix of our two worlds and everything that, you know, we've been doing over the last couple of years. You've been doing it obviously a lot longer than I have, one of the legends in the game here in Baton Rouge radio. So I'm excited about it. Kind of tell our listeners what they can look forward to when we start on Monday.
Well, you know, I think what I'm looking forward to the most, which I've shared with you, is the two different perspectives that we can bring to, you know, what's going on in the sports world now. We're talking about, you know, where were you, where was I? For instance, you know, things that happened in the 90s that maybe I covered, that those are things you were watching when you were still in high school.
Yep.
Things that I covered in the 2000s, you know, where was I? I was covering it. Where were you? You were on the field. So I think it's two different perspectives that we can share with each other, share with our audience. I'm looking forward to the guest list that we can put together. That was one of the first things I got hit with. Well, you're not getting rid of all the other guys. No, we're not getting rid of all the other guys. No, those are all big parts of this show, and I'm excited about the different perspectives that we can all bring. I think it's going to be a good mix.
One of the things that I really enjoy doing this show is being able to have former LSU Tigers or former professional college athletes on the show and kind of relive some of their glory days and LSU's glory days and Saints glory days. And you, as well as anybody I know, you know the history of LSU and the Saints. And that's one of the parts of the show that I'm looking forward to the most, is being able to have all the knowledge that you have as far as the history of LSU and Saints football. Because if I have an LSU or Saints question, Hanny, you're my first text always.
Well, I hope I can do a good job of bringing that to the show. I think that, you know, we're dealing with a different sports landscape right now, obviously. We're dealing with a lot of questions. We'll learn a lot of this stuff together, but the things that we've learned before this will make us better prepared for going forward. And, you know, we're going to we've already kicked around a lot of ideas about things we can do on the show, and one of the things I've learned being in the business this long is it never goes exactly how you think. You can draw stuff up, and you can put together a game plan, and then you find out when you get into it that maybe something works a little better than you thought, or something doesn't work as well as you thought. So, you know, we're gonna work together, and we're gonna do the best show that we can do. I don't expect it to be perfect on day one. That's okay. We'll learn together because we're committed to the product, and I think you know, Jimmy's committed to what he's doing in the 6 to 8 slot. You know, Gordy came on. We think we're going to have a better, more complete lineup now with more local. And, you know, with the guys in the morning going an extra hour, that's one of the things we hear a lot, hey, more local. So we're going to give that to you as well.
I'm really excited about getting that extra hour on our show, 12 to 3, being able to catch people who are going back to work from lunch or maybe going to lunch from work. I'm excited. I've never had that opportunity. Of course, when I started radio here in Baton Rouge. I was on 6 to 8, and so the move to 1 to 3 was great, but this is even better having that noon hour. So I'm fired up about that as well. Something I've got to warn you for, we got to continue to fluster a little bit. So just prepare yourself on Wednesdays or whatever day that Matt Flynn deems it necessary to come into the radio show. Just know he's a lot to handle.
And he's there listening, I know. Be honest, Jake. With the very first meeting we had after we were told the news and we brought up to speed on this, what's the first thing I told you when it came to Flynn? Be honest. You can say it word for word what I said.
Yeah, you gave him credit. You said you like the chemistry that we have. We got to keep him on the show, blah, blah, blah.
I said, I'm not getting in the way of that for 1 second. Are you kidding me? It's too good.
Hey, I'm honored, but I gotta tell you why I'm excited about this is because I finally get to talk to somebody that knows something about sports. Me and you, I'm excited about chopping it up with you. Finally, I can get a little back and forth. Jacob always brings me down these rabbit holes and gets me off on tangents. So I'm excited to actually talk some sports with you.
I want to know. I need an update when we get back next week on the Loch Ness Monster. I mean, I saw the pictures, but are they doctored? I'm going to need to know a little bit about that.
There's a lot of moving parts right now. A lot of moving parts.
Oh, Hanny, man, I can't, tell you how excited I am to be working with you every single day now. That's going to start on Monday. But real quick, before we let you go, you got to give us, set the scene. What's the beach looking like right now?
I'll be honest with you. We do a trip like this pretty much every year, and it's different, man. It's I would tell you, it's deserted. You're like, okay, of course, there's it's an outbreak and all that stuff. But it's not deserted in that there's not a lot of people down here. It's just deserted in that there's not a lot of people out. And what we're looking at is numbers. I'm sitting here on the balcony just kind of overlooking. There's maybe a third of the people that are normally down here at this time. But I know they're on the coast because every parking lot's full. And we went to the grocery store, and that was like a war zone. So I know they're down here. They're doing the same thing that we are. They're coming to get out of town for a little bit, but they're not venturing out. If they're on the beach, they're sequestered, further away than they normally would be. The pool is almost deserted, and people are just coming down here. They're staying in their own personal space and practicing the social distancing and saying, listen, we still wanted to take a vacation. We still wanted to get out of town and get a little, fun time. But, for instance, we would normally rent a boat for a day. Couldn't do that. Normally, go next door for a meal at at Floribama or something like that. Nope, that's not happening. So it's different, man. It's just different.
I can tell you my family's in Panama City Beach, a little bit further down the coast there, obviously in Florida, and she sent me pictures the other day, and it looked like they were the only people on the beach. And it's funny because just like you just said, there's people everywhere. Like there's traffic, there's cars. There's not a lot of people on the beach right now. And
if you're going to hole up somewhere, the beach is a pretty good place to just kind of hole up at house, and you can take a stroll on the beach. And I've been as well during the singing. It is kind of crazy. A lot of people on the beach, but no one's close, really. I mean, they're spending a little time, and they just go back home, swim in the pool, whatever.
No, you're getting that big, much bigger radius of separation than you normally would. And now, if you do go back to the beach and you look back up at the condo developments, every balcony's full.
Yeah.
Everybody's out on the balcony. They want to be outside. They want to, get the sound, the smells, and all of that stuff. But as far as being around people, not if they can help it. No.
All right, there he is, Charles Hannegriff. Again, we will start our new show, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, on Monday, 12 o'clock. Be there. We're going to bring you sports talk, even though Matt Flynn says I'm not very good at it. Yep.
Hey, have a great holiday weekend, guys, and we'll see you on Monday.
All right, there he is, Charles Hannegriff. Do the same. Live from the beach.
Live from the beach.
I wish we need to have Island Hanny on the show. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch our companion show we did for the draft. Island Hanny showed up, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see it?
I did not see it.
Oh,
I'm gonna look at it at the break.
And Island Hanny would be best friends.
Me and normal Hanny might be best friends.
Yeah, but you and Island Hanny, I know for sure.
Definitely.
He's always Island Hanny.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, yeah, but the people don't get a chance to see it now. But they're on location typically, so now they're going to get a chance to see maybe Island Hanny
every day,
every single day.
Love it. Can't wait.
All right, we'll take our break. When we come back, more Baseball, basketball, football, soccer, tennis, golf news. Did I lose you there?
Yeah, no, I'm doing something.
Exactly. All right, we'll be back. Hanging with Lester.
Hangin' with Hester with Jacob Hester. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Richards Honda is constantly looking for smart ways to make things easier for you. So we created our buy from home option. It's the easiest, most convenient way to shop for a car, all from the comforts and safety of your own home. Just log on to richardshonda.com, click on the buy from home button, and with a few simple steps, your new or pre-owned car will be ready for pickup or delivered right to your door. It's fast, easy, and smart. Try it today at richardshonda.com.
Here at the Big Squeezy, we continue to serve the Baton Rouge and Southeast Louisiana areas during these troubling times. We are dedicated to providing you healthy food items to help you live your best life. From our cold-pressed juices to our delicious smoothies, let the Big Squeezy keep you going. Stay active, stay happy, and let us help you stay healthy. Visit us at our locations and also inside of Alexander's and Mathern's grocery stores or online at thebigsqueezy.com.
This is a house call. This is a test result. This is a prescription refill. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. Start your virtual visit today at Auctioner Health.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Do you know the proper way to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in your office? We do. We're Janney King, a leader in the cleaning industry for over 30 years, and we've developed comprehensive programs to address proper cleaning and disinfection. We have experience in applying disinfecting programs in hospitals, office buildings, schools, and other venues. Now we're ready to help and able to assist customers that need disinfecting services.
Janney King, the king of clean.
Hangin' with Lester with Matt Flynn and Jacob Hester. 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Lester, presented by Richard Honda. Of course,
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
It's Bobby Bo Day, July 1st, every single year. My man gets paid $1.1 $9 million until 2035. And so we kind of started the theme. We're going to have song, started with a song about money, then it turned into songs with Bobby's, then Bobby Brown, now Bob Seger. And Bob Seger, let me tell you, has got a catalog.
He has got a hell of a catalog.
I didn't really know. I mean, I knew, but I didn't know.
He's kind of it's one of those guys, it's kind of an afterthought for me to play his songs, but then, like, I'll play one song, and then I'll just listen to everything he has. Great catalog. Speaking of Bobby Bonilla, we were talking about, I think we were doing a little research on where he lives. Kind of hard to find the exact location, but we believe it's Connecticut.
Without being creepers, by the way.
Without being creepers.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right,
Sure.
right,
Just Googling his name, where do you live, address, thing like that.
Yeah.
Normal social security numbers.
Yeah.
We believe he lives in Connecticut, which is not a terrible choice if we're talking state tax, but it's not the best choice. It's not like what you or I would do.
I would have maybe a smaller place.
Sure.
In Texas, Florida, Washington, all above board.
Yeah.
And don't have to necessarily live in that place.
Sure. Now it's not.
You'd be saving yourself about $70,000 is the number you came up with.
Well, I did a little bit more math. They're about 7% taxes for his tax bracket, and so that's an extra $83,181
per year.
Per year, yeah, that he could be saving. Maybe he's got like a little shack in Florida or something that he claims 51%. He spends 51%. Or he is from Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Rico, I think since 2012, has considered itself a tax haven.
Yep.
So he could move back to Puerto Rico and only pay like 4% total. That's like $50,000 total out of that 1.19. There you go. Take it.
It's really funny, the things that you're not very knowledgeable about, but then you're knowledgeable about tax law.
Sure. Now, I don't know
it's because you're greedy.
No.
You're cheap.
No.
You are cheap, by the way.
I'm very cheap. Yeah.
Yes.
I am cheap. I don't know. I think taxes are something we should know a little bit about. And I don't know how, like when it comes to like me operating my high and a lot of the business stuff, when we start getting into taxes and stuff, like I kind of go cross-eyed. Like I don't really want to talk about it. But when it comes to like income tax and things like that, you have to pay on money you receive. I know a little bit about it.
Yeah.
I could be completely misstating all this stuff about Puerto Rico. I know there's a lot of like small print.
Don't try to walk it back now.
There's a lot of small print there. I'm sure I'm missing something, but yeah, it's a tax haven. You can move there and pay like you got to set up residency. You got to move your business. You can 4%.
At least you didn't have to pay California tax laws. That's all we were worried about because
we
we've
were
both done that.
We were worried he's playing that. I think it's 12 to 14%.
13% when I left, so it's at least 13% because they're not lowering taxes out there. Okay, let's move on from tax law because we have done a whole show on tax law. We're not going to do that today. I do want to get your thoughts on Cam Newton signing with the New England Patriots.
Yeah,
Jarrett
some
Stidham,
real sports news.
Yeah, Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer, who I didn't know was in the league until I started doing some research. That was in place. Jarrett Stidham was going to be the starter. That's at least what we were told. I don't really know who Jarrett Stidham is. Like I mentioned yesterday, he came to Auburn, and that was not a fit. He came from Baylor, air raid, goes to Auburn. They were trying to run the jet motions and all the different things that Gus Malzahn likes to do. Never really saw his true talent.
Wasn't he all SEC one year?
Preseason.
Okay.
And so we never really got a chance to see who he was. But the Patriots, everything you heard out of their camp was they love him. He's going to be our starter. Well, you don't go sign a Cam Newton, even though it's a one-year deal, if you felt completely comfortable with Jarrett Stidham being your quarterback.
Yeah.
And Brian Hoyer, because don't say we were going to go get a vet.
Yeah.
Because you have Brian Hoyer, who's been in the league longer than Cam Newton.
I feel like we talk about this at least twice every year during the offseason. And I always have to ask the question, did the Patriots actually say that Jarrett Stidham was going to be their starter? Because I know that was assumed by everybody, just like there's always assumptions about the offseason New England Patriots. But I said, did it come out of Robert Kraft's or Bill Belichick's?
Well, Bill Belichick doesn't really talk to anybody. So.
Exactly. So you can't ever believe anything.
When they didn't draft a quarterback, I think that's when people started to think, okay, they're going to move forward with who they have. Hoyer's going to be their Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's going to be their backup that if it hits the fan, he can come in and, salvage whatever they had. He's not going to screw up, basically. You go get Cam Newton, though, he's going to be your starter. Mm-hmm. Cam doesn't sign that deal to be a backup.
No. I look, if Cam Newton is healthy, this is a great sign by the Patriots. immediately makes them better and dangerous, right? He's one of those guys that when you, as a coordinator, when you have to prep for him, and we in Green Bay we played the Panthers a lot, and a decent amount of times, and he was always just a hell to game plan for. I was running a scout team. I was Cam Newton in practice. I was killing it. I didn't give him quite the look.
I was about to say, they didn't have anybody. Like, I know Julius Peppers was out there for a little bit. They didn't want to say, hey, Julius, I know you're working on defense, but you give us a much better Cam Newton than Matt Flynn does.
It was
because of the size and athleticism.
Yeah, whatever. But it was always fun. It was always fun during Panther Week, because I always would research and try to do the implement their snap count. So it was always ready, go.
He did.
Ready. It just.
Oh, I forgot. One of the best clips of Cam Newton's career is when he calls Clay Matthews out. Clay Matthews, have you seen that one when he's mic'd up? Oh, Clay Matthews thinks he has the play call down. Because, and you and Clay are friends, but Clay chirped all game long. I couldn't stand playing against Clay Matthews because he talked the whole game, and
got in your head a little bit.
Well, if it was good, it would have got in my head, but
I can't see him being a very good trash talker.
But he's talking to Cam, and he thinks he has a play call, and Cam's like, oh, you think you got it? I watch film too. Watch this. During the play. That's what he says pregame. And so it goes into his kids like, ready, and then
ready.
Sure enough, here comes Christian McCaffrey, angle route, touchdown. He's like, oh, I watched film too. Watch this.
Ready. Yep, that was good. But no, good.
So basically,
like
you didn't give that look to Clay Matthews and the Packers defense that you should have given them, because Cam was able to execute it, laughed at his trash talk, and said, watch this.
Yep. So that clip was me? Is that what you're saying?
Basically.
That was my bad?
Yeah. If you'd have had him ready to play,
that
wouldn't happen.
If they gave me a little freedom to make some audibles on scout team.
Oh, that's not happening.
Would have diced them up.
If you completed a pass as a scout team quarterback everywhere I ever was in the NFL, you were the bad guy.
Yeah.
The defensive coordinator would start cussing at you.
I loved it so much. It was once I became like a vet in the NFL, and I'd go to different teams, and I remember, it was my first week or two at a team, whether it was the Saints or Buffalo, like different places, and the people drawing the cars, they're not the coaches, they're the assistants, the assistants under the assistant coaches that are drawing the cards, and they work really hard. They put so many hours and put so much work into making these cards.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, this he completed it to this guy in the game. So they'll have the receiver circled on the card who they want the quarterback to throw it to. And of course, I never threw it to that guy they wanted me to throw it to. I would read the defense and play actual football, and they would scream at me, and I'd be like, shut up, dude. He's not throwing a hitch into cover two. It's not happening. And but I love pissing defensive coordinators.
I don't know if you remember this. You probably don't, but 2004, you were the scout team quarterback. And it was a weird situation for me because I was in 3 or 4 packages as starting fullback, 20 personnel, some different stuff. And so I would go with the ones on the other field with the offense. And then when the twos went, I had to run over and be the scout team running back for the defense. And you were the scout team quarterback. And I'll never forget, we were running stretch. And, of course, stretch is going to be outside hitter. But sometimes in a stretch, if the defense overflows enough, there's going to be like an A-gap cut. And you can make it. If you make it quick enough, it's going to be there.
Yep.
And I remember you handed me the ball. I'm going one step, 1 foot in the ground, north and south, shred, 35 yards plus, untouched.
Yep, your fault.
Nick Saban dog cussed me out for 10 minutes because – I read the defense, put my foot in the ground, and got 35-yard gain.
Yep.
He said, how do I even censor this? Basically,
he's going to try to go
excuse
outside.
me, Jacob. This is a outside running play that no way it's ever going to hit in the A-gap, and you are supposed to fit outside of the tight end with a lot of other words.
If it's okay and convenient for you, Jacob, could you please go outside?
And I'm sitting there, and then Muschamp kind of picks up on it, and he starts cussing me out. And then that's not the end of it. And then Dooley, who sees them cussing me out, asked me after practice, "What were you getting cussed out for?" And then I told him. He said, "Dude, you know you can't make plays on scout team, you idiot." Literally direct quote from Derek Dooley. Called me an idiot.
I like it. Well, call him like you see him.
So that's my scout team.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's always. I like how we got into the segment. We started with Cam Newton signing with the Patriots. Now we're talking about scout team, but it was always funny how they would bring like pressure from the left side, but the protection on the cards would go sliding to the right. And can't tell you how many times practice was stopped because I made a protection adjustment on scout team. And
if you really think about,
I'm like, do
nuts
you
and
think
bolts of
that
it,
Tom
yeah.
Brady's going to make a protection adjustment Sunday, Coach?
Yeah. You think that, Andrew Luck's going to slide everybody the opposite way of where the strong blitz is coming from? Probably not. He's probably going to slide it too if he does anything. Yeah, I never understood that. That's not getting your team better.
Hey, slappy coach, we're playing.
You know what I mean?
We're playing Drew Brees.
He's going to make some adjustments.
He probably can recognize defenses better than I can, and I see it.
The best is when you have like a veteran backup quarterback in the NFL, like an old dog who's been the starter somewhere, not really going to take your BS.
Yeah.
So we had that guy. We had Billy Volek, who started at Tennessee and had a couple games where he like threw for 500 yards and was a starter at a time in Tennessee. And so by the time he got to us, he was in his mid to late 30s, and he had been around the league, and he's just dicing everybody up. And the defensive coordinator, it was Ron Rivera. He would just get so mad at Billy, and Billy just did not give a what.
Oh, yeah.
You did not care, didn't want to listen to Ron. He's like, Ron, if it's open here, it's going to be open on Sunday, so you probably need to change the coverage. And see, that helps your team more than just letting your team wrap everybody up because they tell you where to go on the card.
Yeah. I don't know for sure. We're a little long in the segment, but I kind of had the same relationship with Gus Bradley when I was in Seattle.
Yeah.
Gus Bradley, awesome guy. And me and him used to chirp back and forth to each other every single day. And so Pete Carroll, he had all these days,
just like Coach O, yeah.
Like no repeat Friday. Yeah. It was turnover Thursday. And so Thursday was it was a big practice. And they kept track of it every week. And, in scout team, it's hard not to have turnovers in scout team because they tell you to throw it in places, blah, blah, blah. So you do it. So, you're always going to have interceptions on scout team. That's just the way it is. Seattle's with top defense. You're gonna have them.
Yeah.
And so every week on Friday after turnover Thursday, they'd have the stats. Defense won again. They got a turnover. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
All right. And so they, the coach was, offense, you got to pick it up this week.
Right.
So there was one Thursday I went out to practice, and every snap that was a pass play, I dropped back, took a 5-step drop back, threw it out of bounds. Out of bounds. Out of bounds. In the dirt. Didn't have a turnover. And every time I'd look at Pete Carroll and I wink at him, and then I would say, "Suck it, Gus," to Gus Bradley, and the deep like Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, they were all dog cussing. They're like, "What? That is not even fair." Blah blah blah. And Pete Carroll let me call it up after practice. He was like, "This competitor right here, offense wins the day
because you're throwing it out of bounds.
I was throwing it out
in
of bounds.
the dirt.
That's right.
Got him. Real quick before we take a break, which assistant coach throughout your football career, college and pro, did you have kind of the best relationship with that was on the other side of the football?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Mine's pretty easy. LSU is Bo Pelini.
Oh, LSU for sure. I mean, there's a lot of defensive coaches at LSU that I feel like I have had a good relationship with. Bo Pelini for sure. Green Bay kind of hard to say. There was a lot of fluctuation in that. I loved Gus Bradley in Seattle.
We had Jack Del Rio in Denver. He was awesome.
Yeah,
Del Rio's awesome.
He's a good dude. Man, I'd have to go back. I was on a lot of teams, Jacob. A lot of teams. A lot of coaches.
It is good though when you can have that relationship with a defensive coach. And I know we've told this story many a times, but Bo Pelini, our senior year, would kind of come to us, hey, got any questions about their defense?
Yep.
I've watched them a little bit. Anything you need to know, tips, anything. That's big. That's a big help. And Jack Del Rio used to be the same thing. He'd be like, hey, he'd come up to Peyton. He's like, hey, if I was self scouting, this guy's foot's this way, this guy's head turns this way when he's doing this, and you don't have to do that stuff. But
now that was always one of our favorite days in training camp in Green Bay was when we crossed. So the offensive coaches would go and spend the entire day with the defensive guys. So the receivers coach would go spend the days with the corners and DBs, and defensive line would spend it with offensive line, vice versa. And that was always a cool day because you always know what you're doing, but that helps you explain why you're doing it. Like from a cornerback standpoint, when a receiver does this, and this, that gives that away, and you're cross training like that. So it was one of our favorite days.
Yeah, you don't get a chance to pick up that on college football because you don't have the time. The 20-hour. I laugh when I say that. I mean, that's not true. But still, you don't have the time that you have in the NFL. In the NFL, if you have a tendency, if you have a quirk that you do and it's a tell, they'll know it, and they'll know it by Tuesday. It's amazing.
For sure.
It's like, okay, we got this guy. When we played against teams that were in the 3-4, you could always tell by a guy's feet, like if he was going to rush or if he was going to drop. Like a guy's toe would be pointed in if he was rushing, it'd be pointed out if he was dropping. I mean, so many little
especially in
small
college
details.
and young guys in the NFL. You don't
young
learn
guys
that
in the
stuff.
NFL for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take our break. More to come here. Hanging with Flester, presented by Richard's Honda.
Hangin' with Hester, with Jacob Hester.
By our title sponsor, Richard's Honda. Of course, you can find them online at richardshonda.com. You can find them physically at 13413 Millerville Greens Boulevard in Baton Rouge. That's I-12 and Millerville. If you're at your house right now or if you're at work, check out richardshonda.com because on the website, you can do it all. Bottom right corner, you can chat with sales. In the bottom left corner, you can actually pull up the specials they've got going on over at Richard's Honda. And no matter what you're looking for, no matter where you're at in your life, they've got something that you're going to love over at Richard's Honda with over 700 new and pre-owned vehicles. They've got cars. They've got multiple hybrids, including that CRV hybrid they just threw out there on the lot. That is that brand new midsize SUV hybrid. They've got the midsize SUVs, the CRV, the HRV, the Passport, the full-size Pilot, which seats 8. They've got the Odyssey minivan, the Ridgeline truck. So it doesn't matter where you're at. They've got something that you'll fall in love with. But go see them. After you get off work, maybe you leave your house, go to 13413 Millerville Greens Boulevard and check out those 700 vehicles. That's Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling.
Sports will be back.
But for now, we're all rooting for a different kind of hero.
Let's embody the best parts of sports.
Teamwork,
sacrifice,
resilience.
One goal, together.
Divorce is hard. Divorce is messy. Divorce is exhausting. The law offices of OSSIE Brown walked me through my divorce and helped me find the right solution for me, my kids, my finances, and my property.
Call the law offices of OSSIE Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
In an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
They're like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Hangin' with Flester with Matt Flynn and Jacob Hester. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Flester. Matthew Clayton Flynn here with me on a Wednesday afternoon.
Do you know what today is?
Bobby Bow Day?
Bobby Bow Day.
Lucky man. I did say in the teaser for this show that we talk about meth gators, aliens, and cargo shorts.
Did you?
We don't have to talk about any of the three, but we got to talk about, well, I should say all of the three, but we do need to talk about one. Any thoughts on any of those?
I've seen a lot of headlines on meth gators. I don't think any news stories have appeared. I think there's just more awareness out there, which is great. I mean, that's all you can do. Meth gators. Meth gators.
Love that.
But it's good. You know, I think we kind of started it here, and the awareness is getting out there that people know that there are meth gators out there. Aliens, not a whole lot to report. I know Marco Rubio has, been very loud about, getting everything released on the UAPs, of course, unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Of course.
What was the other thing? Cargo shorts?
Yeah, we did a whole episode about cargo shorts and dipping and where you put your dip in the cargo shorts with Bane.
See,
one time.
I wish cargo shorts were more stylish. I'm a big pocket guy. I love pockets. That's why I love fall, winter weather because you can
You're
you
a
can
big
wear
vest guy.
You can
Do you have vests like inside of it?
Yeah. So
Or
the
pockets
vest
in
I
the
love
vest,
because
I
you
mean?
got extra pockets in the vest, but then inside the vest you can have 2 to 3 extra little pockets. I love pockets.
Okay.
You just can't have enough. But cargo shorts are terrible. So there's got to be a better way to add pockets to pants, I think. But that's why fall, winter are always my favorite.
You know what
because
you
I
don't
like
see?
I like layers.
Before we move on, you know what you don't see a lot anymore is the jeans with the hammer holster.
The hammer holster, yes.
Yeah.
I knew exactly where you were going with that, and I appreciate it.
And then on the other side, there was the small pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So you had the hammer holster.
Yep. Got the small pockets.
And you had small pockets.
Small pockets. I should have shortened up pockets there.
You've been shortening up a lot today.
Yeah,
you just
but
made me do
But
it.
it didn't come off right.
You don't want
on that
small
one.
pockets.
You don't want small pockets. Definitely don't want small pockets in your pants.
All right. Before this gets off the rails like we typically do, I do want to ask your thoughts on teams that are thriving right now in recruiting that aren't typically, well, not typically, but in recent history, they have not been towards the top. I'm talking about Tennessee. I'm talking about North Carolina, but I really want to talk about North Carolina. They get another 5-star commitment yesterday from North Carolina, the Tar Heels, from a cornerback, the number 6 player in the ESPN 300. And I think it's because they had some momentum last year on the field. I think they have a really good coaching staff they've put together. But I also think, something I've talked about, I think they have momentum from the way recruiting's having to go and take place right now. Mac Brown's got a big personality. Mac Brown can get on a Zoom call. He can win you over. He can win your parents over, I'm sure. And I think right now with all the restrictions that are put in place, personality is going to show through this deal because you can't be a guy with zero personality and get on a Zoom call and convince someone to commit right now.
If Mac Brown can't do anything else in life, he can recruit.
Yeah.
A guy can recruit his face off.
And this isn't disrespect to Mac. He ain't calling plays.
He ain't
drawing up plays. He ain't suggesting plays.
He's recruiting, and he is a CEO.
Yes.
And that is awesome. That's great. Every team's a little bit different, but he can recruit. And, I know that growing up in Texas, and you just hear the legendary recruiting stories of Mac Brown. But North Carolina is always an intriguing place for people just because, I hate to say it, I hate to bring this, but people like Baby Blue. They like the colors look good. Their uniforms
I did
look
not
good.
know
and that is
where you were going with that, but
that's a
I
selling
do agree.
piece.
They have
and it is
strong-
it's a very good school for education. Hate to bring education into this, you know what I mean? Usually it doesn't pop up in this show.
Wait, what? Just because we didn't go to Catholic High doesn't mean we can't talk about education.
We just don't really ever do.
Okay.
We should speak more on it. That's
okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. But I was surprised when I first heard you say that they got another 5-star recruit. But I'll tell you what, I mean, it is kind of it's got a little sex appeal to that university if they're good. And then Mac Brown,
And Sam Howell,
that's some free recruiting in the Michael Jordan documentary.
He did. And Sam Howell, the freshman quarterback, is probably the most under-talked about player in the country that had a really solid season. Remember, they had Clemson on the ropes last year, went for 2, one of the worst play calls in football history, the 2-point conversion. We'll talk about that another time. But they had a chance to go for 2 and take the lead against Clemson. And, they got Phil Longo, who's been in the SEC as their offensive coordinator. They got Dre Bly, who was a longtime NFL cornerback and played at North Carolina. They've got Stacey Searles.
They got Stacey.
They got Stacey Searles, their offensive line
Brett
coach.
Helms' dad.
Brett Helms' dad, his father. So they've put together a really nice coaching staff as well in Chapel Hill. And then Max is CEO, and that's a team, man, that right now is thriving in the current situation when some teams aren't doing what they typically do in recruiting. Alabama and Auburn right now are behind where they typically are.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri with
Missouri
with Eli Drinkwitz is actually above where they typically are. So
I'm sure Missouri is probably on their 4th or 5th transfer quarterback by now, right?
Remember last week we talked about it.
Yeah.
They want to run the Wildcat more because they don't feel confident
That's right.
in their quarterbacks. They do have a starter, Sean Robinson, who is a transfer, by the way, from TCU.
Yeah, 75% of the quarterbacks in the transfer portal end up going to Missouri, and they're going to run Wildcat. Smart. I think they'll probably be the worst team in the SEC. Actually, I just gave them too much credit. They're not in the SEC.
I knew you were going to say that.
I gave them way too much credit.
By the way, Arkansas is atrocious. Arkansas's got to beat San Jose State, North Texas, and Western Kentucky.
Here's the question. Would you rather play Wildcat or play with Felipe Franks? Legit question.
With Felipe Franks at Arkansas?
It doesn't matter. Would you go into the season, if Felipe Franks was your quarterback, would you rather have Felipe or would you rather go Wildcat?
Depends on who my Wildcat running back was. If it's Darren McFadden, Wildcat all day long. Felipe Franks had some moments with Dan Mullen, but they weren't able to last. It wasn't consistent. So if I got Darren McFadden as my Wildcat running back, I'm taking Darren McFadden.
Okay.
Every play.
I'm taking some unfair shots of Felipe Franks, but he was not good.
I don't think that's very unfair.
Oh, I appreciate it. He's got some talent. Give him that.
Don't say arm talent. I hate that.
I just said talent.
I know. Just don't ever say it.
You don't like arm talent?
I just
feel bug you?
It's like a buzzword that people just use now. Big arm talent.
Kind of bothers me when people call each other coach. You do that.
Coach?
Yeah. Yeah, coach.
Actually, I stopped doing
It's
it because you're like, I'm not a coach.
It's like, no, I'm not a coach. They call everybody coach. It's like, hey, bud. Instead of bud, they insert coach in there. It bothers me a little bit.
You going to name names?
But some people might say, when I say, hey, bud, that might bother them.
I think Moscona doesn't like when people call him bud.
Really?
Yeah. Call him bud when he walks in.
So I'll call him bud.
For sure.
Yeah, big bud.
So
I'm not your buddy guy.
So Ronnie Rance and Buzzy, big coach guys.
Yeah, I know they are. It kind of bothers me.
Jordy, big coach guy.
Hey, I don't hate the person.
Okay.
But the whole coach thing bothers me a little bit. But it's okay, though.
All right, bud. We'll be back.
See you,
Ask
pal.
us to finish up a Wednesday edition of Hanging with Lester, presented by Richard Tonda.
Meth Gators.
Hanging with Hester, with Jacob Hester. We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Richards Honda is constantly looking for smart ways to make things easier for you. So we created our buy from home option. It's the easiest, most convenient way to shop for a car, all from the comforts and safety of your own home. Just log on to richardshonda.com, click on the buy from home button, and with a few simple steps, your new or pre-owned car will be ready for pickup or delivered right to your door. It's fast, easy, and smart. Try it today at richardshonda.com.
For over 50 years, customers have been heading to Happytown for the Corval Toyota experience. Get outstanding service with our complimentary loaner program when you buy your next vehicle at Corval Toyota. So come on down to Happytown. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happytown, USA.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of OSSIE Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OSSIE Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111, your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
How distracted will Clayton be today? Hangin' with Flester with Matt Flynn and Jacob Hester. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in.
It's nice. It's pretty good.
It's got a little something to it.
I
I don't even think we need the intro today because that intro can't be beat. So, Josh, you don't even have to worry about playing the intro to ask us.
Yep. Bob Ross, what a legend.
As Kay points out, what a great show to take a nap to.
Oh, happy trees, happy little accidents. Did you ever watch them when you were a kid?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody did.
Man, I would love to get my hands on a Bob Ross Ridge.
All right.
They're expensive.
So
Let me
ask
just tell you
Flynn, which would you rather? Bud, coach, guy, bro, buddy?
So I think I'm a big hey bud guy. So I think it's bud, man, or bro, or brother. In that order.
I told you when I see Craig Stelz, he's such a what's up, brother? With his accent.
So yeah, with Craig, it's always like brother.
So I end up saying, yeah.
It's all your people. It's all the it
depends on who it is. Like Spears is always a big my guy. That's his deal.
Yeah, I like my guy.
I like my guy, yeah. Man.
Usually I will respond if someone speaks first, I'll kind of respond back with the same thing if it's different.
Right.
So like my guy, I'll be like, what's up, my guy?
Yeah.
But I won't respond back with coach ever.
Okay.
Period.
Like with Phillip Rivers, he's like, his way of saying hello is say now. That was his.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that back.
And then I did. And then it's instead of he calls everybody Bo. Like say Bo, like because he's country. So
Right.
it just depends on who you're talking to.
Is that just like the country way of saying bro? Just like silent R?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Bo. Yeah.
I like Bub. I like Bub
Ooh,
too.
my
Bub's a
dad's
good one.
Bub. Did your dad have something he said when he saw someone that knew him, but he didn't know exactly who it was? My dad, every single time somebody would come up to him, and if I knew he said, "What's up, Easy Money?" I knew
Money, yeah.
my dad has no
That's a good
idea
one.
who this human being is.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like Big Daddy sometimes.
Ooh, that's risky.
Mhm.
Big Daddy?
Yep.
You Bradley Dale Pivoto?
What's up, Big Daddy?
Who in the hell are you calling Big Daddy?
Just, I guess, you know what? I'm learning something about myself. Like, I don't have like a
Big
standard.
Daddy. Holy moly.
Like, what do you call this? An intro? A standard what? Like a standard greeting? I don't have a
Greeting.
standard greeting. I fluctuate
Definitely
with the,
not Big
with the
Daddy.
person. Like, because I say Big Daddy sometimes.
But I need to know who you're saying Big Daddy. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's never
good.
going away. Ask us, does Hanny get the bad chair? That's a great question. We wouldn't complain about it here, but I don't really know where I'm going to sit. I don't know if I'm going to sit here, if Hanny's going to sit over there. I mean, it doesn't really matter as far as
What's your
who's
good side?
talking. I like this side. I'm my fade, I got the hard part on this side.
Sure.
So I feel like maybe stay there. I don't really care. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, push for it. Push
Ask
for what
us,
you want.
largest steak you've ever eaten. I don't know.
I mean, are we talking about like Happy Plate Club, or we just like ordered a big steak? You ate most of it, maybe brought some leftovers home. I've ordered some big ones for sure.
Help me out. Chicago, famous steakhouse. Every NFL visiting team goes there. I can't remember, but they had a plate.
Is it Morton's?
No,
Yeah,
it
it's
wasn't
Morton.
Morton's.
Definitely Morton.
I mean, I've been to Morton's everywhere though. This is like a Chicago place. Like it's
No,
only
not
in
not
Chicago.
Morton.
I don't know. Steak was bigger than my head. I tried to eat it all, miserable, but it was fantastic.
I mean, it's hard to beat a good tomahawk ribeye, man.
it is.
But I've cooked some really big steaks.
All right, I don't need to hear about your green egg skills. Ask us, is the king of hydration still missing a crown? You are the self-proclaimed king of hydration. Don't see a crown.
Yeah,
you don't
I've
have a
never
hat on
had a
today.
crown.
That
Yep.
I knew something was different.
Well, I got a haircut yesterday.
I did too.
and I wanted to. It looked so good. I wanted everyone to see it.
Okay, that's fair.
But I don't have a crown yet. However, it is hot out there, so go get your Mai-Hai. You can order online. Got a online shop is still open. We're in a lot of grocery stores, so get your Mai-Hai.
Ask
Great.
us, with all the
Feel better.
changes, is sports shorts safe? I actually don't know about Sports Shorts Radio. We'll try to get you an update there. I swear it was Flynn that walked in our hospital room last week to give my wife another dose of lidocaine and her epidural at Women's Hospital. Are you doing that on the side?
Yeah, I can do a little moonlighting.
Ask us, mask on or off during social distancing? I try to wear a mask. And so like the other day, I was in Rouse's and I was telling Cade this story during a break. I had my mask, but then I had to unlock my phone. So I took it off. And then I got a phone call. So I took it off and it was hanging on one ear. And I'm walking around. It's like on one ear. I'm like, oh, crap. I don't have my mask on.
Right.
I'm awful about like trying to do something. I take it off, and then it's like just dangling on one ear.
Yeah, here's the most frustrated I get with the mask situation. Is I hate grocery shopping with a list on my phone. Like I like a physical hard copy of a list, like a grocery list.
Yeah.
The list on the phone sucks because you got to keep unlocking it, and you can't organize it. But with a mask on, the facial recognition sucks with the mask on, obviously, and it adds another element. So it's not a good situation, folks. If you're wearing your mask, you have to wear your mask in the grocery store. Did a hard copy shopping list. That's just
there you go.
That's just from one shopper to another.
That's very fair. Ask Jacob.
And get your MyHigh when you're there as well.
Yes.
Put the MyHigh on the hard shopping list.
Yeah, every time. Does he think he can get Hanny to talk about sports instead of football? We're both going to learn each other. There's things I talk about like meth gators he's probably not going to want to talk about. So we'll find a great happy medium, and the show's going to be really good.
Well, here's the deal. Like when I'm on, I don't care if he wants to talk about it or not. He's going to talk about it.
Yeah, pretty true.
Ask us. I think he'll be good at it too.
Did the Patriots cheat? I didn't play for him. You did.
Dude, I mean, I don't know firsthand, but the NFL said they did.
Okay, there you go, fair. Ask us, is it hard to be happy without happy? I do want to take the last 30 seconds of the show to say how grateful I am to Madison Gilmore. Happy has been fantastic. She'll always be a part of my life. I have a homie for life, as I told her yesterday. She is extremely talented. She will be back and better than ever. Wherever she lands, she is going to be continuing to not only walk forward, but run forward because she is very talented, young, up and coming.
Someone's getting us we love you, Happy.
All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Hanging with Hester, presented by Richards Honda.
Hangin' with Hester, with Jacob Hester.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all.